All right, everyone, let's talk about color theory. I've told you that we're going to do this soon, and so here it is. So color theory is everything you need to know to make color do what you want, and that'll make more sense as we go. But I've got some things I made a long time ago. I made this little thing, this little handout, and let's go over it real quick. Primary colors. A lot of people know what primary colors are: red, yellow, blue. You know, that's something that's taught to us since elementary school, and easier to remember than some of these other two, I think. Secondary, two primary colors that mix together. So take any two of these and mix them together. Red, yellow, blue makes orange, green, and violet, or purple. Either one works for me. Tertiary, a primary mixed with a secondary. So that's where you'd get red orange, or yellow green, or green blue as some examples. In class, what I do is I project an app that I have, and it is called Color Wheel. It used to be free, it's not anymore. There are a whole bunch of different Color Wheel apps if you're looking for one. This is what Color Wheel looks like. iOS has this one. There's, like I said, there's plenty others. I haven't checked Google to see what apps they have, but the primary colors right here: red, yellow, and blue. Secondary colors: orange, green, and violet. And tertiary are these guys and these guys here. Okay, I won't go through the names because it's not hugely important. A tint and a shade. These are terms that I'm going to use in class quite often because this is how we can manipulate these colors. Any of these colors and anything in between. A tint is that color plus white paint. Okay, and a shade is any color plus black. Now that black is kind of in parentheses or quotes, you know, because I really like to point you guys in directions other than using black. I've mentioned in class that I'm not going to give you black paint right off the bat. I'm going to give you brown and blue, and you mix those together and get a very, very dark color that is still very full of color and is very dark. These color schemes, these four, do me a favor, put them in this order on this paper. First one, monochromatic. Let's talk about that one. Monochromatic is one color plus tints and shades of that color. That is right here, and I will show you what that looks like. Here's the example. So I chose a red color. This assignment is done much easier in colored pencil, although it can work with crayon as well. I wouldn't use markers or anything with ink. They tend to not blend as well. But I guess I don't know everything about every piece of art supply mediums. You know, surprise me maybe. So tinting is a little tricky because you're not really blending or adding white to it like with a white colored pencil. It's much easier with colored pencil to just lighten the pressure. Black, just use a black pencil for now, and you can tint a shade. Okay, so there's red in there, or that fuchsia type color, and I've shaded it and tinted it in that little space there, but shaded it in other places. Each shape in all of these should be consistent through that shape. I don't want you to go from dark to light within a shape. Does that make sense? All right, complementary. Complementary is any two colors exactly opposite each other on the color wheel. So any of these, okay? And you just pick two, you know, so maybe you want blue and orange. I chose red and green here, plus tints and shades, just like that. Don't copy what I did just to copy what I did. You can use red and green. You don't have a whole bunch of choices. You've only got 3 different choices, essentially, primary and secondary. You can do tertiary, which would be super cool. I've not had people do that just because it's maybe too challenging. Nobody wants to step up to the plate. Tints and shades of those 2 complementary colors. The third one, analogous. Analogous is a word that I'm hearing more and more often in other scenarios, but analogous is things or colors that are close together or similar. And what that looks like on the color wheel app here is like this. So we've got a primary, and then in this case we're moving towards blue, so we get different variations of violets. 3 or 4 colors. The reason why it's 3 or 4 is because there's in a typical color wheel, so if I move this just a little bit, okay, it's as many steps as you can take without getting to the next primary. Once you get to the next primary, it's no longer analogous. I don't know what it would be called besides confusing. So I used to think, so this is me learning, I used to think that you had to start with a primary and move in one direction, but that's not exactly true. That right there is analogous, where I have red is my primary in the middle, and I've moved towards yellow on this side, and I moved towards blue on this side. So really all 3 colors, all 3 primary colors are present here, albeit red is the dominant color. But this works for any place on the color wheel. All of these variations are analogous because they're next to each other. This one's a lot of fun to use. The example looks like this. So I chose that yellow, red, and kind of an orange analogous color scheme. So something similar to like that right there for this. And then of course plus tints and shades. Now as you start to introduce more colors, having enough space for tinting and shading can become a little more challenging. And then this last one, triadic. 3 colors equal distance apart on the color wheel. So this is like your primary color scheme. This one's very accessible, and you are totally welcome to do it. Secondary color scheme is really great. Takes a little more effort, especially if you have to mix or blend these colors together, colored pencils to get these colors. But a tertiary triadic color scheme would be more advanced. Some of these. And the example here, a little more complicated. And it makes sense, I think, that we would progress in difficulty as you progress in the assignment. I want it to look nice and clean. I want you to label each one and stay inside the lines just like they taught you in first grade. And hand it into Canvas when you're done. I will put this up in the assignment, and I will put a copy of this that can be downloaded and printed. Or you can come to school on Friday if you want and pick it up, or beginning of next week. I will have this due the end of next week. So you'll have time to gather supplies if you need them. If you need colored pencils, I have some that I can lend to you, albeit they won't be full sets. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will be on Canvas throughout the semester to help you and here at class. So good job, and feel free to watch this as many times as you need, of course, so that you can get the help that you need if I'm not available as quickly as you need. Thanks. Good luck.